Hello everyone and welcome back to Get to Know Hospitality Heroes, a video interview series where we get to know more about the professional and personal lives of some of the region's most important hospitality professionals. Today I'm pleased to welcome Michael Ellis, who is the Chief Culinary Officer for Jumeirah Group. So thank you for joining us, Michael.
My pleasure.
Great. Michael has a long and distinguished career and previously served as Global Director for Europe, Asia and the Americas for Michelin restaurant and hotel guides. And he joined Jumeirah Group as Chief Culinary Officer in 2018 and oversees F&B operations at all Jumeirah hotels and resorts and leads the culinary teams across the entire range of restaurants and dining outlets. So to get to know you a little bit better, Michael, I'm going to ask you a mix of questions from two pots here. We've got career questions and fun questions. Are you ready to get started?
I'm looking forward to it.
Right. Okay. We'll start with a career question to get us going. Okay. A good one to lead us in. Why and how did you choose your career?
That is an excellent question. That I would probably have to go way back in my memory, back to when I was a teenager, back in Denver, Colorado, where I grew up. And I got my first job ever, really, as a busboy when I was 13 years old in a restaurant, a Greek restaurant called the Gracious Greek. And I started working weekends and at night. And busboys, I think, is a kind of a unique American job. It's the lowest rung on the F&B ladder, and you basically clear tables, pour coffee, and pour water. So it's really what they call a grunt job, but I absolutely loved it. And I couldn't wait to go to work. And I think there and then the F&B bug bit me, and I knew going forward restaurants would play a big role in my career.
You really got a taste for it from a young age.
Absolutely.
And worked your way all the way up. Wow, it's impressive.
Yeah, it was. It's hard thinking back all those years. It's hard to believe, but I think anybody who works and enjoys working in the hospitality business, once you have that adrenaline rush of serving people, making people happy, I think it's something that you really enjoy, and it's really something you look forward to.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with F&B, you can you've got that direct interaction, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. Okay, I'll move on to a fun question now. Okay, so what personality trait has got you in the most trouble?
Let me think about that. I would say probably linked to my, it's a personality trait that is linked to my pleasure of working in the F&B world, in the service industry, and that's trying to make everybody happy as much as possible. And while I think that's a lofty goal when you're working in a service industry, is trying to make everybody happy, in real life, sometimes you can't make everybody happy. And I think if you like to make people happy, you don't like to deliver difficult messages, you don't like to reprimand people, and you don't like to necessarily be difficult with people or deliver harsh words or harsh messages. And sometimes that's necessary. So I would say probably, when I think about it, some of the difficulties or problems that I've had is my ability to want to make everybody happy when, in fact, that can't be done all the time.
Yeah, you need a sidekick to be bad cop sometimes.
Yes, you need the good cop. I'm very good at playing the good cop. I'm less good at playing the bad cop. But at least I recognize that. So I recognize that in myself. I am lucid enough to understand that. So when someone needs to come with they have, as they say, walk softly and carry a big stick, I can walk softly, and if I need someone with a big stick, I can call on somebody.
Absolutely. Okay, I'll move on to another career question. Okay, so what is the proudest moment of your career?
The proudest moment of my career would, without a doubt, be back in September of 2017. I was awarded France's highest civilian award, which is called the Légion d'honneur. And I was awarded that by the French government for my contribution to the expansion and recognition of French gastronomy and French culinary excellence throughout the world when I was head of the Michelin Guide for 7 years. So that was something that I'll never forget. I received the award from Jean-Dominique Senard, the CEO of Michelin. It was at the Senate building in France, and it was in Paris, sorry, and the French Senate in Paris. And there was about 200 people around who were invited that really were represented, I think, the crème de la crème, as we say, in French gastronomy, most of them Michelin starred chefs, as well as some political and media personalities. So it was a moment that certainly I will never forget. And having, even though I was, as you can probably tell from my accent, born and raised in the United States, I have been in France for almost 35 years now. So for me to be recognized by the French government, and it's a very rare that non-French citizens get this award. So it was truly honored, and I think that's something I'll remember as long as I live.
Okay, I'll move on now to a fun question. Yeah. Okay, so if you could be any fictional character, who would you be and why?
Fictional character. I would be a fictional character. I would probably, when I think about it, there was a movie which I highly recommend anybody who's interested in the restaurant business that came out in the mid-1970s by a French director called Claude Zidi, starring a French comedic actor called Louis de Funès and another comedian called Coluche. And it was about the fictional Guide du Chemin, which was a thinly veiled reference to the Guide Michelin. And it was a parody of what actually happened on what was going on with the director of the Michelin Guide. And so in this movie, Louis de Funès portrayed Claude Duchemin, or Charles Duchemin, who was my role, who basically had my role as the Michelin Guide director. And it is a hilarious parody. The name of the movie is L'aile ou la cuisse in French, which means thigh or the wing, is when you refer to when you're ordering chicken, you have to, would you like the thigh or the wing? L'aile ou la cuisse. And it really is, it is a hilarious parody about what the Michelin Guide is about and what the inspectors do. So when I saw that movie, and I recommend anybody who's interested to watch it, it's very, very, even if it's in subtitles in English, it's hilarious. And I saw Charles Duchemin, I had a wonderful time as head of the Michelin Guide. Charles Duchemin, he had more fun than I did, and I think that would be great to live. So it's a hilarious movie, and every time I see it, I laugh.
Well, that's a good recommendation. I don't think we're going to get anyone else giving that answer, I can tell you that. Okay.
That's probably true.
Another career question now. Okay, so what is the best piece of career advice you've ever received?
I've been fortunate to receive quite a bit of advice in my career. I think probably one of the best pieces of advice I got, at least insofar as I was concerned, was from someone when I was just first starting off in the F&B world many years ago. And I was in Dallas, Texas at the time. And there was a manager, it was in the Rosewood, it's called Mansion on Turtle Creek, which is now part of the Rosewood collection. Actually, it was way back then. It was the first Rosewood hotel ever really, in the early 1980s. Okay. And this manager said to me, because I looking for a job, and they offered me kind of a low-level job, just one level above a busboy as a runner. And I was like, well, I think I can do better than that. And the message was very important. And the message was, don't be afraid, don't be too proud to start on the bottom rung. Don't be afraid to take what you consider a job that's lower than than is too low for you. Yeah. That could be something that, if you start at the bottom rung, work hard, you will be recognized. If you're working for the right company, that work will be recognized and you will rise on the ladder. And that's exactly what happened to me. And I think that's something that has served me well throughout my career.
Okay, so we've got time for one more fun question. Okay, so what is the best hotel you've ever stayed in? Why?
The best hotel is, I would say, one of the most unique experiences and best experiences I've had in recent memory was a hotel that my wife found actually in Oman, where I was with my family there last New Year's time. It was it's called Alila. It was Alila in Jabal Al Akbar in the remote mountains of Oman. It was absolutely incredible because the hotel is built out of this volcanic bricks that very mimic the local housing. These kind of giant box-like brick houses, but I mean, are absolutely beautiful. It's this dark granite rock set on a canyon that reminded me of the Grand Canyon, which is of course in the U.S. from where I'm from. It was absolutely spectacular, very difficult and remote to get to, but I think it was just absolutely beautiful. It was pure. It was in nature. You could go for walks. There was nobody around. It was really absolutely spectacular. The food was wonderful. And for me, that was really a remarkable experience, and one that I will also remember for a long time.
Amazing. We'll have to check that one out. Okay, well, thank you very much for joining us today, Michael. We really appreciate your time, and we hope to welcome you to the next edition of the Hotel Show Dubai.
My pleasure. Thank you very much, James.